Every conversation tells a story, and the best ones begin with honesty, courage, and a little curiosity. That's where Elsa Kurt comes in. She's an author, podcaster, and independent media personality, and this is where she brings real life to the table. Authors, thinkers, creators, leaders, everyday folks with extraordinary journeys. We sit down, we dig in, and we talk about what matters, what's messy, what's beautiful, and what just might inspire you to look at the world a little differently. So pour a cup of something good, settle back and join me. This is Elsa Kurt Interviews, where truth has a seat and everyone's welcome.
Well, hello, my friends. It is time for another one of my favorite things. I have so many favorite things, but this is absolutely highest on the list. I love interviews, and I have a wonderful, beautiful, lovely, amazing guest today. Her name is Judith, and she is going to tell us all about her her debut book. I'm saying latest because I know there's going to be so many more to come. But here is a little bit about her.
Today, we're welcoming Judith Husker, a woman whose life reads like a quiet adventure story all its own. She grew up building forts in the woods, spent 40 years lighting fires of imagination in her students, and now she stepped into the world of fantasy writing with her debut novel, The Dreamer, the Seeker. We'll talk about the childhood that shaped her, the classroom that sharpened her voice, and the stories she's bringing to life today. Let's get into it.
Well, hello, Judith. How are you?
I am fine. How are you?
I am good. I'm so happy to meet you. I'm so happy to hear about your book. You know, when I was reading your bio a little bit, it felt in so many so relatable. We have such a similar childhood and just love for imagination. So you grew up on a small family farm. That part I didn't get to do, but I had a really big yard. You were surrounded by woods and animals and what sounds like endless room to just imagine. And I would love to know that how did that childhood world of forts and fairies and dragons shape the storyteller that you eventually became?
Well, it was not only that, going out in the woods with my brothers, helping build forts, and then imagining all the things that were coming after us and we were attacking them or flying somewhere. And then I would go in the house and create a club, like I had the garden club, and I'd make everyone little songs, a little booklet and things they could do. And this was when I was just 10, 11, 12. I was already doing these things. And we might do a dragon club, where we would draw dragons and talk, because we knew dragons were real.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Like that.
Oh, how fun. Were you able, so I feel like I was able to hang on to that mindset for so long. And yes, even into adulthood. But I also feel like it slips away a little bit. But you were very fortunate because you worked with children for a very long time. Did that help you? Did that help keep that sense, that type of imagination alive for you? Definitely.
I was already into being a very creative person and just like creating a club, and sometimes we'd have a fair going on or just all kinds of interesting things in the backyard. And there were 6 kids in my family, so we were all very busy. We enjoyed each other. And my dad was busy things like digging out a swimming pool, just covering it with black tarp. And that was all, this big hole. And my mom would dump bleach in it every once in a while to make it supposedly clean.
That was our answer back in the day to everything, right?
Right.
Yeah, good old bleach.
Right. But there were all kinds of things in the pool too, that one time a frog got in there, and that was kind of fun.
Oh, my favorite.
Right. So it's kind of a little live pond. It wasn't just a swimming pool.
Right. Oh, I remember that as a kid too. I remember the swimming pool, and that was like my big excitement. So I grew up in an apartment complex, but we had a big in-ground pool. I thought I was rich, by the way. We were not, nowhere near it. And the little drains that they would have, or baskets, filters, that's what it is. we would always find frogs in there. So that was like the greatest thing ever
Right.
in my mind, right? Oh, loved it. They all had names. Every frog I ever caught got a name. Most of them had the same name, right?
Right.
Oh, I love that. It's like you're bringing me back to my own childhood. It's so sweet.
Good. I'm glad.
Were you writing back then as well, or were you just living in that imagination?
I was kind of
world?
living in it when I wrote these little booklets for kids. I would make them into all the neighbor kids got a booklet, and we would sing the songs and read the stories. And so that was my beginning of my writing. And then it just continued from there.
That's
I always
beautiful.
enjoyed writing and creating things and being very creative, which really helped when I became a teacher.
Oh, absolutely. What did you teach? Was it general studies or was it English? Was it?
Yes, general. I taught grade school, and because it was so long, I taught all the grades, K through, and I went to 5th grade then in the school district I was in. So, and I love being in different grades because they're all wonderful, and that was my passion, really. Teaching always was, even before I started teaching. And so, and I love creating things. I didn't just like the math program. Oh, I just don't like the math program. It's not progressing right. So I just redid it.
Oh, wow.
I didn't tell everybody else because they would have a fit, but it really made sense to my kids to learn to do math in a way that made sense and was practical. I tried to create things that were real life. Like if we were doing measurement, we found someone was building a house and we went over and got to measure the house, the inside. That was fun.
Oh, wow. Oh, where were teachers like you when I was growing up? I did not have, I was the ADHD kid before ADHD was a thing. So I was just, had potential, but never applied herself.
I was the ADHD teacher. And so I would talk to the kids and I would explain, this has nothing to do with intelligence. You can be very intelligent and still have this kind of, your brain is just going at all times.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely.
I had a contest once with one of the girls that let's see how long we can sit still without even moving an inch. I lost. I
love that. And for ADHD, we love a challenge. Like, if you're gonna challenge our brain to do something or tell us that we can't do it, now we have to do it. Now we must.
Right.
Oh, that's so awesome.
It's just another part of people. It isn't. And I think for a while we kind of condemned kids who were like that, and it should never have happened. It was just a part of a personality.
Exactly. It's so true. You're so right. It's just a simple little difference. That's all. And when you think about it, every child, every person is different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is just yet another difference that we have. So
that's right.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Because I have a very strong feeling that you sent so many children onto really terrific paths in their lives. So, God bless teachers like you. The early spark obviously stayed with you throughout your entire life, and it has shown up beautifully in your debut novel. So let's talk a little bit about that. You spent 40 years inspiring young minds in the classroom. How did your career in education influence your approach to storytelling? And go ahead, answer that one.
I was going to just say that I even wrote in the classroom. I wrote for all the 5th grades classrooms in my district, a book, unit on chemistry and a unit on the human body, and everyone liked it.
Wow.
And so I was always writing, and when I wrote, I would throw in fun things, like if you want to learn about your heart and how that it beats all the time, get a sponge or a softball and try to squeeze it for a minute. You will not be able to. You'll find, oh my goodness, my heart does this all day long.
That's brilliant.
Things like that.
That's actually amazing to me. We can go back to the other question, but that's amazing to me because you're so well-rounded in the different types of, we'll call it genres for lack of another word, the genres that you can write in, that you can write technical writing, that you can write fantasy, that's really impressive. And I feel like that's not as common as, a lot of authors, writers will pick a lane and they'll generally stay in it. They may switch over a little bit here and there, a little to the left, a little to the right, but that's pretty diverse. So I'm incredibly impressed right now and jealous. I'm really envious right now. So how did those years with those kids, because I would imagine just listening to them and interacting with them teaches you what they want to read, right? What resonates with them. So you had that leg up, whereas somebody else who, just sat down one day with no childhood education background. So I'm going to write a fantasy book for children and young adults.
I don't think it works that way, but
it just doesn't, right? But there are people who have tried it, and you can see that they haven't made that connection. So tell me how that helped you make that connection.
Well, first of all, I was in the choice of books. We read a lot of fantasy books about dragons and all kinds of things, and the kids loved them. And we would write about it. We would draw them. We would learn like dinosaurs and really go into what they were like and how the ones got food that had short hands and the ones who walked around on all fours, and how long ago it was. It was amazing. We don't totally comprehend what millions of years are. Yeah. So each of that, and in fact, while I was teaching, I wanted to start writing something. And I did start the fantasy, but I had 3 kids, getting my master's, teaching full time, and I started writing this fantasy. I fit it in. I only did it once in a while, though, because my life was busy.
Sure.
But I thoroughly enjoyed doing it and just slowly getting along, building up these characters that were just coming out of my mind.
Wow. And you kind of have to, with something that, with such an undertaking as a fantasy novel, like you really do have to take a lot of, because it's world building. You're building worlds from scratch, from your right. You can't go on Google Maps and look it up, right? And like it's really coming from your own mind. So that's such a cool ability to be able to just do that, to build like that.
I know that a lot of authors, since I heard about the Harry Potter, she literally wrote outlines of everything.
Oh yeah.
I would never stay on the outline. I would just say, I don't know what I'm going to write today. And I would start and it would just like come out of my head. And all of the scramble of stories that were there came out, and they just came out, and I went, oh, that's good. I like that.
I love that. I have a name for it. I always ask my fellow author friends, I always say, are you a plotter or a pantser? And they're like, what are you talking about? I said, well, do you have to write out the whole outline that get your whole plot together? Or do you just sit down and fly by the seat of your pants, a pantser, and write? And I'm a pantser. I do the same thing that you do. I sit down and the words the story starts telling itself, and I'm just the person. Right?
I'm the one on the typewriter. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love it. And it's so fun. And I don't know about you. Do you like look back after you've written like a big chunk of writing and you maybe take a break from it for a little while and then you go back and read it and you almost don't remember writing? Like it's almost unrecognizable. You're like, I wrote that? Really? That's from me.
I remember once just opening up part of the book as far as I got and started reading. And I went, boy, I like how that lady is that troll is, or elf is talking. That is amazing. She really hey, wait, I wrote that.
It's so fun, isn't it? It's so I love hearing somebody else that does that, because most of the people I talk to will say, oh, no. I have the outline and I have like character studies for each character. And, I do like a bio for them. And, and they have like the strings and the things and the circles and all. I'm like, no, I can't. My brain would not allow it. Right.
My brain wouldn't either. I would and besides, I would get halfway through and then stop and think of a better idea and just keep going. That's kind of the way teaching is. Some people write outlines and just really detailed, and they have to follow it. And for me, it was, okay, we're going to do this thing on social studies. Say we're going to learn about American history. Well, we'll start out here, and then I'll learn about some other people, and so we'll go and do something else about American history, but in a different different angle. And to keep it moving and keep it alive is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you have a lot of kids that were, I'm sorry, I'm sidetracking here. Did you have a good mix of plotters and pantsers in your classrooms, or did they seem to be more? Yeah.
I mainly had panthers.
Yeah.
I worked really well with kids that had disabilities, and so my classroom was always loaded.
Yeah.
And, in fact, when I was being switched to a different grade level, the one who was going into 5th grade told the 4th grade teachers, "Don't you dare do to me what you did to Judith. I don't want all those kids."
So let's talk a little bit about your book. I keep picking your brain about everything else now. Let's move on to the book. So for someone picking up The Dreamer, the Seeker for the first time, how would you describe it to them?
Okay, the first thing I'm going to explain is that I wrote a book, and it looks like this. And this was my first book. It's the same plot, but I did it through a company that is free, and you get what you pay for. And I thought they were going to format it and correct it and, edit it. No, they didn't. So it has all kinds of errors in it. This is the book. This is the one you want to find. And the only place I've seen it on is Amazon or Kindle. And if the wrong book appears, then you go either to my name, try my name first, and then try the name of the book. But this is incredible because I had a lot of help.
Tell me a little bit about what readers can expect in terms of the story's premise and, the storyline and the emotional experience that it offers.
First of all, it's very unique in the sense that every time you turn a page or a part of the story, you don't know how it's going to turn out. And that's what my son told me. My son, who's older, said, "Mom, this is so creative because I never expect what's going to happen. And I have all kinds of magic, but it's not anybody else's. It's stuff I've invented myself." And there's dwarves and elves and humans and trolls and orgs. And then, of course, the monster part, the terrible monster and all his associates. But it starts with this young boy. Now, I don't want to say too young. He's probably about 16. But he's mixture of it. He's a dwarf son. And there are also these people called borned ones. And borned ones are people who connect with the universe. And the universe gives them strength and power and directions of how to help people. So and he discovers that he is a borned one. And the problem is that he's very insecure, and he thinks this can't be true. I can't do magic. I can make a coin disappear in my hands. That's about it. And so the story is about this young man developing into seeing himself more positively, able to help others, and going through a lot of adventures, like the ice witch, who he has to find and deal with her. And of course, she captures him and freezes him, and his friends are there to help him and get him out of the problem. And just he's constantly falling into more problems and more adventures. Like there's an innkeeper who, when they are kind of lost, they're going around. There's 3 other friends he has, and one is an elf who's really good at tracking, but he gets lost, and they end up in this inn, and they get food and dinner, and then they find out they're trapped in there. They can never leave. And so a battle kind of starts out, and every time he feels that he can't really do much. One time he's been given by someone this belt that has all these crystals on it, and the crystal explodes when an evil person comes near, and his friend said, "What happened?" He says, "I don't know. I had my eyes closed. I was too scared."
I love this.
And then there's a marmouse, and a marmouse is about 5 foot. She's not a mouse at all. She's just a critter that no one else likes. In fact, trolls like to find them because they have them for dinner. And And she seems so scatterbrained and so out of it. But what she is hiding is the fact that she is the ultimate born one. And how she helps Kaori through this is just really amazing. And then she passes on to him what she has. And that becomes exciting. Is there anything I've left out now? Because I haven't really said, well, Kaori does this and then this and this. I don't want it to be too.
Yeah, no, we're not going to tell them the whole story. You all have to go buy that book. You're not going to get the whole story right now. No, but I love, so what's striking me so much is that I feel like I can see the characters, which is so cool. And I love that they're so unique and different from each other, but yet there's also a familiarity to them. Like they have like relatable qualities that, you know, we can relate to as humans too. And I think that's what makes it so endearing, that you can be taken into the story and feel this sense of wonder and fantasy and otherness of it. But then you also feel like you're relating, you know, and I think that's really a special and difficult thing to do. Do you have, speaking of your characters, do you have, I mean, everyone would probably guess it's the main character, but do you have a character in the book that you especially connected with, or was just simply your favorite character of the book?
It would be Kaori, and I say his name carefully because sometimes people don't know how to pronounce it. And Kaori is the main character, and it talks about how he just develops and becomes this very strong person, and then develops until he is the ultimate born one. And the other person who has a unique name is Aja. And I don't know where I got these names, they just came to me. And so she's the top born one, and she gives all her power and strength to, she's like hundreds of years old. So she's ready to go on to up in the sky, wherever they go. And so she gives her power to him, and that really changes his ability, what he feels about himself. I must be okay because Ayaja thought I was. So,
oh, I love that.
Right.
That's beautiful. Tell me a little bit about the protagonist, the scary guy, without giving away too much, of course. But
okay. The Marauder is a wizard who has gone insane and has created these creatures who follow him and are winged creatures and are dark. But he is different. He is not like your normal evil, but he loves evil. He loves hurting people and torturing them. I don't have a lot of torture in it, though, because I don't like that. Sure. But I do have people that are like, if one of the winged creatures goes after you and even claws you, you will die instantly because they have so much power and so much poison in their body. And then I should tell about the other part that is important, and that is when the Marauder has been under earth and they've found out that he's now going to expose himself and come out in the open. And so they have a group of people they call the chasm guards, and each of them have been given a special sword that just is their own. And those swords can kill fantasy creatures, and no one else can. They're the only ones who can kill these, and they're called scabars, and they're the only ones who can kill them. So it's good they have a lot of those people around helping out.
This sounds so good. It sounds so epic. It just sounds like this great epic story.
It is an epic story, and it's exciting. So
if you, I'm sorry,
half of what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine. I can't wait to read it. I can't wait to read the whole thing. Tell me a little bit about what you would say, like the core themes or messages that you hope readers will take away from reading the story.
Okay, I'm going to have to go back to when I was teaching school. And one of my former students, who was then an 8th grader, came in and was just chatting with me and said, you know, my teacher told me I'm a failure and I'll never make it. And, just give it up and everything. I couldn't. I said, you have got to be kidding that somebody could tell you that.
I know, my
when
heart.
you were in my class, you were just a good student, and you were good enough that you can go to college, you can go to trade school, you can do what you want to do because you're a hard worker, and that's the way it is. I don't listen to that man. So that kind of brought me to thinking about what I want people to do after they read this is not just celebrate life or something like that, but celebrate my life, my personality. Like, okay, if you're attention deficit, celebrate it. And if, and I talk to the kids, we make lists of things we're good at. And if you're good at soccer, it doesn't mean you're the best in the world. It just means you're proud of yourself. And I'm celebrating myself. And that's what Kaori does. He comes very slowly along till he can celebrate the kind of person he is and not worry about anybody else. This is what I want you to do. So I want it to be, it's a very unique story. It's very creative, but mainly it slowly works into people feeling positive about our creatures, feeling positive about themselves. And that, I think that's a real important message. We say about celebrate life, but we forget that it's our life we should be celebrating.
I feel like you just healed something in my young child's heart. just hearing that, like it feels good to hear it. And I know, all the kids that are and were like me, and I had a very supportive family, so I did not have a terrible time of it. School was very difficult for me because I just
I understand,
and so, and of course back then they didn't understand kids like me, and
you were just being bad. Why are you
I was
so
just
bad?
I was just being bad. I was a daydreamer. I was an airhead. I was space, you're right. Yeah. Always was looking out the window, never paid attention because I was too busy in my own little fantasy world. That probably sounds very familiar, right?
Right. And it's so wonderful. What a wonderful place to be.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you go to that place any chance you got? Come on, yeah. So, so I'm so curious. This sounds like a book that should have sequels. Will there be more to the story, or will you change gears completely?
No, I'm already halfway through the sequel, the second story. And I brought in some of the same characters, but I have enriched them and made them discover things about themselves. And a totally different adventure. Everything is, because that's just the way I wanted to do it. But it is coming along. I've also written, but I just have the story down of a Christmas story. And now I'm going to have to get illustrator and get it formatted correctly and things like that. But that's, they're both in the works. I'm mainly working on my second story, Dreamers and the Seekers. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but that makes it even more exciting, right? It's exciting for you because you don't know. It's going to come as a surprise for even you. That's so fun. How long, I'm like on the technical side of things, I'm so curious, how long from when you finished writing the manuscript of The Dreamer, the Seeker, how long before you started the second book? Was there a long gap, or did you start kind of right away? Yeah, I think I started well, it wasn't a long gap, but I didn't start immediately the next day. But I kept it in my head thinking, what am I going to do? These are such interesting characters. And then I got some new ones that had never been around before. And I thought, okay, I'm going to write this then.
That's great.
And they just kind of poured out of my head, like looking out the window, dreaming.
Yeah, exactly. Did you know when you were writing The Dreamer, the Seeker that there would be a second one, or you were just letting it happen?
No, I was just letting it happen. I couldn't think of anything that I would do that would proceed this. And then it finally came to me of how to do it. So
did you find that once you finished, like once you just wrote the last lines of that book, did you think at that time, okay, good, I've got it out of my system, I'm all done writing, I did what I said I was going to do, and I'm good? Or did you know already that like it was just the beginning? Like for me, it was the bug. Like the minute I wrote the first one, I thought for like 1 minute that I was done. and I had, just checked off a box. And then after I did it, it was like, I feel like it was just hours before I was thinking of another story. Was that anything like that for you?
Yes. In fact, in the story, a young woman finds something very important, and she polishes it up. It's just something like a necklace. I'm not going to describe it all, but anyway, she wears it under her smock, and that's the beginning. And then when Kaori is at the very end, he says goodbye to his friends, and he goes through this small door in the corner of the wall. And my daughter said, "Mom, I have to read the second book now to find out what's going on."
You gave them cliffhangers. I love that. Yes.
At the end.
That is
and
so
that
wonderful.
little the necklace thing she's holding becomes very important in the second story.
Oh, I like that teaser.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I'm guessing, I think I already know the answer. There's probably, and you probably didn't even know it when you were doing it, but I bet there's all kinds of like little Easter eggs throughout the book that let readers know there's something more coming after this one's done, right? Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I love it.
Right.
That's
in fact,
amazing.
When she first found this thing, is in the middle of the battle they were having in this big city, and it was all scratched up, and it was like just something you would wear, and she polished it, and it was all gold, and she just, but somehow she felt she didn't want anyone else to know she had it. Something was telling her, don't let anybody see this. And eventually she becomes this little nobody who runs a tavern, becomes one of the major characters, because without her, the story could not end. And I won't tell you what she does.
Nope, we don't get to know. Darn it! I wanted the sneak peek of what's going to happen. No, tell me. It's easy to guess what the favorite parts of the whole book writing, publishing process was. I'm guessing it would be, the favorite part would be the actual writing of it, right? Was there?
Yeah, definitely.
Was there any part that you just absolutely didn't like or don't like doing when it comes to this whole process? Don't say it though. Don't say it's the interviews. Don't say that.
No, sometimes I would get stuck, and I would say, I don't know what I'm going to do next. So I would just go clean the house, do whatever, but it's still swirling in my head the whole time. And I knew I have to just sit down and start, because it will come. And that's what would happen. It would just come out the next. In fact, that's where I am right now with the ending. I'm right close to the ending, but not quite. But where I am right now, I've been thinking a lot, because I don't know exactly which direction I'm going. So I will tell you something that's very interesting, because I did forget sometimes that I wrote certain parts. And I did not like the ending of my story. I just couldn't stand it. I kept thinking, I got to go back and change this. But I went back, and the ending had already been changed, and I could not remember doing it. And I love the ending. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. And so relatable too, by the way.
Do that. I sure did a good job.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, like I said, I can totally relate to that. There are so many parts. Well, there's so many books that somebody will ask me something, they'll reference something, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember writing it. I have no idea what you're talking about. And they're like, but you wrote it. I'm like, I don't remember. Yeah.
Totally understand.
Yeah. Now, between your authorship and your career as a teacher, do you ever think about helping other authors, like basically kind of teaching them how to go through the process of writing a book? Because I feel like you would be amazing at doing that. You would be such a great guide for people to help them, because there's so many aspiring authors, and you're going to find, I don't know if you're doing like book tours or book signing events or anything like that at the moment, but if you do, and if you are, you're going to find that you're going to have so many people that come up to you, and they're going to say, I've always wanted to write a book, but I don't know where to start or how to do it. Do you think any chance there'd be somewhere in that lane for you?
I think so. I think I would first of all want to relieve people of not being so anxious about it. I don't know where to start. Just start.
Just start.
In fact, I had a professor once, and I didn't realize that other people felt that way. He said, you just start writing and it's going to come to you. And a lot of the kids in the class didn't, the adults in the class did not like it. They wanted to have something very concrete. And people, you know, the lady who did Harry Potter, she's very successful. And that's how she does it.
Yeah, I love that. And I feel like that's like the greatest advice you can give, anyone can give to anyone aspiring to be author, really kind of to anything that you have a goal or a dream or aspire to do. Like you have to start, like you have to start, you have to put one foot down on that road and just go. Yeah.
A lot of my teaching writing was really in school, like with 5th graders who can do quite a bit in writing. We would write books and that was enjoyable for them to, you know, and they of course did their own illustrations, and that's cute because they're 5th graders.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. We could have, maybe for your Christmas book, you can have some kids illustrated. That would be so fun.
I had thought about that because
wouldn't that be cute?
Yeah, it would be. It'd be very cute.
That's awesome. Do you miss teaching?
Yes. In fact, that's why I went into writing full time, because I was really down. I thought, because I was, 70 by the time I quit teaching, and I just loved it. I was passionate with it. And then I finally thought, I'll go back to my story and start continuing that. And that filled a need. And I just found out I love that just as much. And I do. I thoroughly enjoy writing.
Yeah. I get it. The bug, you got the bug because you're working on 2 right now. I love that. Do you think more after that? Will you switch over into any different genres, or do you think this is the one that it has your heart the most?
I don't know. I just don't know what I'm going to do. Because I kind of wait till I get done with something, then I explore what I'm going to do next. The Christmas story is interesting because when my kids were little and really believed, they got a letter from Santa that told everything that was happening to this little elf who was very mischievous. And then later on is going to be a book of this elf.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Do you write little notes to yourself every time you come up with an idea, or they're just there in your head?
They're just there. I never. Yeah. Well, I will tell you one thing. I have sitting under this computer a big giant calendar, for each month. It's covered with everything. I got to write that down or I'll forget it. This is what, but yeah. So the whole thing is covered with everything but dates. That's
so funny.
Right. So I look at it and go,
there it is.
It's all right there on my page, and every time I think, well, I quit doing that because it kind of looks sloppy, but I never do.
Yeah, no, I do the same thing. I would never show anyone my desk right now. I would never show anyone because it's so ridiculous. There are little, well, I'll show you this part. There's these little, notepad papers this size, and they are all over the place, and they're all like reminders, notes to myself, ideas, scripts.
That's what I do with my giant, because my calendar is like this for 1 month. It's like this. I guess you can't see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it makes much better notebook than I do put down dates, and then I have to remove a bunch of stuff so I can see when am I going to be, when did I set this doctor's appointment or whatever it was.
Because this is a writer's
stuff.
Yeah, my friends, this is a writer's mind. This is what it looks like inside our brains. That's, you're getting a glimpse inside our brains is what's happening right now.
Right, that's true. That's true.
We have more ideas and thoughts than there are minutes in the day. And that's the frustrating part, right? Like that's the hardest part. There are so many things that I want to do on any given day. And then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, the day is over. What do you mean the day is over? I have more things I need to do.
Right.
Oh, tell me a little bit about if you're going to be, if you are, I kind of touched on it before. Are you going to be doing any book signing events, or are you going to do mostly kind of like the online stuff like this, or undecided?
I have this new marketing group that I'm working with, and they're setting all this up. We're first of all going, like I'm going to have an interview on a television show.
Very good.
Then, yeah, but you're first, so that makes
I'm first. I win. Ha!
And the surprise. And I know that I'm going to be on different social medias. And I think we have planned that some places they have these big book fairs, and I'm going to be involved in one of those.
That is wonderful. They're so fun.
They're going to keep me out there so everyone knows about me. Keeps hearing about me.
Good. I love it. I'm so happy and excited for you. This is such an exciting journey to take. And I love, I started writing a little later in life. I was not, I wasn't young. And I'm
not young.
You did mention, I wasn't going to say anything about, but I will say, friend, I lump myself in this too, because we're of an older bracket here. And I think it's so encouraging for people in our ranges to realize that just because you retire, from your longstanding career, just because your age, whatever, you can start something at any point in life and just right. And I think that's such a powerful thing for people to see that it doesn't matter, right? Yeah,
important.
Not at all. And you're inspiring in so many ways. And I think it's really cool that you inspire both children and adults of all age ranges. So that is absolutely wonderful. And the book sounds amazing. That you're doing a sequel is going to be so great. You are, I saw, I don't know about you, but I have they call it the TBR list, the to be read list. And I'm
read, right.
Yeah, my to be read list. And you're high up there because I haven't read a fantasy novel in ages. So I'm really excited to
you'll like it. You will really
I know I will. As soon as you start talking about dwarves and elves and all those things, I love that stuff so much. So
I do too.
Yeah, I am very, very excited. Tell everyone where they can find the book. And I think you told me that there's a website in development, so we'll keep an eye on that. But where can they find the book right now?
Right now it's on Amazon and Kindle. Well, they can find it everywhere, but if everywhere else they look, like it's on Apple, it's on Barnes and Noble, they'll get this book.
Okay.
Which, I'll just show it to you, is the other one's much better because somebody has formatted it correctly. All the errors have been taken out. And
beautiful.
Right. So this is the one. If you want this book, then you go to Amazon or Kindle.
Perfect. And I will put, guys, the links in the show notes for everybody, so they'll be able to click on that, and I'll have it down here on the screen so everybody will find it nice and fast. It'll be so fun. And Judith, this was so fun. Thank you so much for taking time.
I just loved it.
Good. I was so glad. Good. This was just a blast for me. Anytime I get to talk to fellow authors, and it's just such a joy to hear everyone else's process and just their experience of writing and see, like with you, especially the joy of the book itself, the story itself. You can see how much you enjoyed these characters and this story.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm bored, so I go back and read part of my book.
Yeah, I love doing that. Yeah, I haven't done it in ages, but because I want to read everybody else's books first. Oh, all right, my friends. Thank you all for joining us. We had a wonderful time here talking about The Dreamer, the Seeker with Judith Husker, and we hope that you will go pick it up on Amazon. Like I said, there's the link will be in the show notes, and we will talk to you all next time. Take care.
From small-town love stories to battles of truth and loyalty, Elsa Kurt's books follow the same heartbeat. Ordinary people facing extraordinary moments. You'll find romance, drama, second chances, even a peek behind the microphone in her newest release. Multiple genres, different worlds, same thread. Bold truth,